Hi guys, I have finally seen the Batman. I know all of you guys have been blowing me up about what did I think about the Batman. Well, I'll tell you this. I didn't hate it, but I didn't love it. Let's go ahead and talk about why. Now, when we normally do these reviews, we normally do a full spoiler heavy one, and we normally have somebody from the rest of the crew here with us, but because they see movies late and or they'll be here a while before they actually show up to do the show, I wanted to talk to somebody, i.e. you guys out in YouTube space, about what I thought about YouTube. Plus, I'm tired of people blowing me up through messages or in comments about what I thought, so here you will know what I thought about the Batman. First, we normally go by goods and bads when we do these type of reviews. I will say this will be non-spoiler, but I will give you what I thought were the good things about this movie and what were the bad things about this movie. We'll talk about which one is more. But let's go ahead and start off with the goods of what I thought about the Batman. So first thing I will say is that the villains in this film did an outstanding job. Starting from Zoe Kravitz as Catwoman and her performance. I mean, she is probably now my second favorite Catwoman. I think she just jumped ahead of Dark Knight Rises Catwoman. She's now my second favorite because hers was more layered. As far as Zoe Kravitz's performance, hers was more layered. Obviously, Michelle Pfeiffer is my number one. But Zoe Kravitz did a really great job in giving layers to the struggle of Catwoman and what may make her want to be a burglar, an international thief. Colin Farrell did a great job as the Penguin, unrecognizable, and so much so that you just kind of just enjoyed him being the Penguin and not really thought about, oh, it's just Colin Farrell and his interpretation of it. No, you really felt like this was the early beginnings of the Penguin. And then finally, Paul Dano as the Riddler. Dude, this is obviously we only got two interpretations. Well, I mean, I guess if you talk about the TV show, we got multiple interpretations of the Riddler, but this is the best, most psychological version of the Riddler that we've ever seen. This kind of makes you think about how well we were impressed with Heath Ledger's Joker. This version of the Riddler is the best thing that they've ever given us as far as one of Batman's rogue gallery villains. I mean, kudos to him and his interpretation of it. Other things that I like, or other goods that I liked about this movie, were the action scenes, few and far between. There was only a couple of them, but what we got was really impressive. Standout was the chase scene between Batman and the Penguin, even though it did seem like he stalled out his car. Nobody really talks about that, and I laughed in the theater because I was like, the Batmobile doesn't work. But he did get it started, and the chase scene really kept you on the edge of your seat. It was very stressful and intense, and then the final finale, no spoilers, but you kind of saw it in the trailer when he kind of runs the Penguin down. Man, it was really, really great. Man, God, it was an amazing chase scene for a Batman film, which I feel like you don't get much of those outside of Batman just kind of like tearing things up. Other thing that I liked about this film, excuse me, including the action scenes, was that fight scene between Batman and Catwoman. Even though heavily CGI to show more agility with Catwoman for Zoe Kravitz, the fight scene was still really impressive. You don't get to see many of those between Batman and Catwoman. Michelle Pfeiffer and Batman had one, but it was pretty lame, and I'll be the first person to admit it. This one was like, hey, she is a formidable opponent to Batman, or at least this version of Batman. So I thought that was really, really great. And the final action scene, which I won't really go into for the movie, was an enjoyable one, even though I have some questions about like what we really accomplished out of it, but I'll save that for the spoiler review. Unfortunately, guys, that is really all of my goods and what I really liked about this film. So we're going to move forward onto the bads. Now, the first bad I'm going to say, and I'm going to get it out the way, is that I did not like Robert Pattinson's interpretation of Batman. I thought he was way too moody, and I know Batman's supposed to be moody, but I feel like there's always a balance, and I know you guys are going to say in the comments, well, Terrence, hey, this is year 2 Batman, and this is his trying to walk that thin line between Bruce Wayne and Batman, and he's still kind of damaged and broken. But yeah, I always keep seeing a moody Batman. Can't we do something a little different? In every interpretation, every time we try to make it a new Batman, he gets moodier and moodier and moodier. Ben Affleck's Batman was moody. Christian Bale's Batman was moody. Michael Keaton's Batman was moody. Come on, they're all moody. I want something a little bit more balanced, even though I will admit Bruce Keaton was more balanced. But they're all moody, and I don't need to see him darker and grittier every time. I really hated the bat suit. I'm not a fan of this bat suit. And once again, I know it's year 2. Maybe it'll improve or evolve and all that stuff. But I really did not like it. As much as I did not like the short ears of Ben Affleck, I don't like the overall design of this. Other things that I did not like about it, this movie's 3 hours long. It is way too long for any particular type of movie, especially a movie that has so few action scenes in it. I think we had the Batwoman fight scene, we had the car chase, and maybe the opening fight scene with the thugs in the subway. That's all of the fight and the ending scene. So maybe 4 action scenes in a 3-hour movie. That's damn near 1 action scene every hour. That is crazy too slow. We all make fun of the Fantastic Four movie and not having action scenes. This one barely has any action scenes. I know it's supposed to be a detective movie. I get that. But I don't need like 90% detective story and like 10% action in my Batman movie. I need an equal balance, or if you gotta make an adjustment, I need 60-40 action to detectiveness, which I will give them credit, and I didn't mention it in the goods. I will give them credit for at least showing us more detective Batman. Other thing that I did not like about this film is that this story is heavily based on the Long Halloween. And I will say, I am not a fan of that storyline. That storyline is long and boring, which is why this movie took 3 hours to go through. And it required you to be not an intro-level Batman fan. This one required you to know a lot of the characters from Batman comics, from Carmine Falcone, all through the history. And it was like, you couldn't just walk in and enjoy this film, because I know they tried to explain it, and I guess you could follow along, but you didn't get most of the meaning out of who these characters were and why this whole thing happened that I can't really explain, why all of this stuff is happening and what's the underlying importance of it. So I will go ahead and stop there as far as my bads. Like I said, when we get to the spoiler review, we'll go ahead and talk a little bit more about it. I know you guys have some comments for me as far as how you felt about the Batman film. Look, I didn't hate this movie, but it's not my favorite Batman film. It's not top 2. I guess maybe top 3 if I had to pick Batman films. And I was a little disappointed. Everybody that I went with to go see it, they were very happy with it. Those who did not fall asleep, we're very happy with it. And everybody who's reached out to me, I know you guys are very happy with it. I'll be in the majority. I'm the guy who gives the 5-star movie the 1 star just because. If this is the first time that you're on the channel and you're only clicked on it because you saw that I did not like the Batman film, make sure you subscribe, because there's other things that we do on this channel where you might actually will agree with me, or other films that I talk and support that actually people do hate, which I say you should never hate a film. So go subscribe as well as click the notification button. And if you want to go ahead and contribute to the channel, make sure you go to our Teespring where you can get some of our merchandise. All right, with that said, you guys take care.
Guys, you're still with us? Great. I know it's the end of the year, and I know you guys are in the holiday spirit, the spirit of giving, right? So we're asking you to give us money. So if you look down below, you'll see where it says patreon.com/thegoods. Right there is if you have an excess amount of cash laying around. If you have not bought enough Christmas presents and you're wondering, who else can I bring joy to this year? Us. That's who you can bring joy to. Have you ever looked at us and you're like, man, they should get a better camera? You're right, because we don't have enough money to. You can help us do that. Patreon.com/thegoods. Help us out. We'd appreciate it. And you can be a part of the goods yourself.